My name's Reverend Mindy Tucker, and I serve as co-minister here. And I was just having a thought. It doesn't work at all. It's not on? Hello. My name is Reverend Mindy Tucker, and I serve as co-minister here at Unity of Mesa. While Erica was lighting the candle, I had the thought, because both Erica and I grew up in Unity, YOU, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, we used to say, I light the light of Christ that shines in me. I light the light of Christ that shines in me. So when people said, well, how do you imagine God? How do you picture your own divinity? And I would see this single taper inside me that was always illuminating the world. So imagine inside of you, each one of us has this beautiful taper that's always illuminating the world around us. I light the light of Christ that shines in me. Sometimes you just have to do this. Get it in your body. It's not like a breaststroke, it's like. So let's say together, I light the light of Christ, that shines in me. There you go. What a great start to our time together. We have Reverend Nikki Golden, the other co-minister here, is delivering our lesson today. We have Kirsten Plambeck, who's singing. Kyle Larson's on the piano. It just gets better and better. We've got somebody coming up. We've got Miles coming up to give the children's affirmation, and Julie Treglow, our youth ed director. So yes, all of this, we're going to call it in to divine protection and perfection by remembering there's only one presence and there's only one power. Active in the universe and in our lives right now. There's only one presence and one power. Active in the universe and in our lives right now. Let that land, let that shimmer of truth amplify the light of Christ that lives in you. And then let that light permeate across space, across time, so that others in your universe, others in our community, and others in the world can be reminded of the light that they are, the goodness that they are, and that the love that they feel as that light moves through them is their true nature as well. So it is, and so we let it be. Yes.
Yes. Hey, we have some really neat things coming up for you. We have Will Tuttle.
Will Tuttle is a world-renowned author. He wrote The World Peace Diet, which was a bestseller for a very long time. He's going to be our guest speaker next week, and he's going to do a presentation. So his Sunday lesson is about empowering your own genius. Yes, you have it. And then the workshop is about intuition. So come to service, be blessed by his beautiful piano music, his wisdom that he's going to give in the lesson. Bring a bound bag lunch or a bunch of snacks, because the workshop starts at 12 o'clock.
Yes, it'll be fantastic. We have new members class coming up. It will be on the 31st of May. We invite you, if you're interested in becoming a member, to come. There's a few books to read, and they are in the bookstore. And, well, you don't have to read a few books. There's one book to read, but there's a few to choose from. Let me be more impeccable with my word. If you've been a member and you just want to come back and revisit it, that whole idea, you want to meet some new people, you want to share, please come. Let's have a really great time on Wednesday.
We will. It's about joining or rejoining or rededicating your membership. And then the third thing we want you to know is that spiritually transformative experiences, near-death experiences, the discussion class that's been going on Tuesday, you can still come. It is on Tuesday. It is in the room that is on this side of the building. It has an exterior entrance, and the two facilitators are Kathy Cook and Lori Weber.
Yes, and Kathy, would you like stand up so people can see?
Any
Thank you.
questions? See that beautiful soul right there.
And they are a rocking and a rolling. It's a great place to be on a Tuesday evening.
Well, I'm going to invite all of you to stand as you are able. We are going to sing I'm Choosing Heaven Today, a New Thought song by Ricky Byers, led by this beautiful choir right here.
I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing peace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
We have our very own Erica Bowman, who's going to do our intergenerational moment today. Come on up, Erica. I want to say to you that I wish I had grown up in Unity, and it makes me wonder how different I would be had I done so. So thank you for being present here in this community and willing to do this today.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be part of this congregation and part of this church. It is truly my heart. So just to share a little bit, I did grow up. I know some of you know my story. I know some of you don't know my story. So I'm going to give you a 2.53 minute clip. So I did grow up in Unity. My parents found a Unity church in Phoenix, and I started attending it about the age of about 7 or 8. Yes, it is. And at that time, there was no Uniteens. They didn't have a junior high group. And so I was grandfathered in to YOU, the high school group, Youth of Unity. And I had the privilege of going to Unity Village 4 times. And I do have some pictures of me as a baby, pretty much. So, and I'm just gonna say it. So I'm the little chocolate chip in the middle of the cookie, right there, yes. And then on the one with all of the people, I'm like in the front. That would be on the right. Yes, on the far side. Yep, go down a little bit more, different chocolate chip, right there. And so I was actually a regional officer for the Southwest region, and I helped to create content for all of the high school students that were in Southern California, Arizona, and Nevada. And I wanted to share with you a little bit of what my Unity experience has contributed to my life. And so one of the things I remember first and foremost in showing up at Unity, starting class, was I remember hearing Myrtle Fillmore's story, and it just stuck with me. So for those of you guys that do not know, I actually have chronic asthma and cystic fibrosis, and I was diagnosed at 7. And at that time, the life expectancy was about 12. And so to hear, I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness, was life-changing. And I was able to go through high school. Don't get me wrong, I had lots of doctors. I still have lots of doctors, lots of meds, lots of specialists, multiple hospitalizations throughout my life. But I've been able to move through them using the principles that I've learned. And so I was an all-state track runner. Go figure. For those of you that don't know, cystic fibrosis impacts your lungs and your digestive system. I was an all-state track runner, all-state long jumper, student body president, went to school, moved away from home, went to school, had to deal with hospitalizations there. So that principle of being able to know that I did not inherit sickness and I wasn't captive to my body was essential. And the other thing that I learned was, or that really stuck with me, was the principle of thoughts and mind produce of their kind, that I can really choose my words to create my experience. And so I began vision boarding. I began using affirmations. I have affirmations now. I have one on my mirror in my bathroom that says, how will my choices today impact my future experience? And so these principles have allowed me to experience life. And let me tell you, these last 6 years have been tough, very tough. But I can still find the joy in life. It's not like it's happening to me, whereas that physical heaviness, I can apply my principles and know that everything's temporary. I can use my affirmations. I can use meditation. I can use unity music. I love Ricky Byers Beckwith. To be able to shift my energy and know that I have that ability and that control to co-create the most amazing life. And so just to name a couple of things that I've experienced in my life. I won a car. I set that affirmation, I set that intention. It was a contest, 50 words or less, why you deserve a reliable used car. I was 21 years old. I went and turned my letter in and they said, can we help you? I said, I'm here to see my car. And it was my car. I affirmed a house. I wrote a vision board. The right and perfect house will come at the right and perfect time, at the right and perfect price, at the right and perfect, in the right and perfect neighborhood. First day went looking, third house. And then also just affirming and thanking my body and giving gratitude and not setting limits just because of what somebody has said or what science has said. I climbed Machu Picchu last year. Thank you. I've been skydiving. I am here to just ride the wheels off this vehicle. And so unity, and there were times where I did not actually attend, and my life was tough. It was like I had forgot who I was. But then I started doing that reset emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And let me tell you, you're gonna have to do it multiple times. It's not like one and done. It's part of the practice. It's part of the principles. And so that's why I show up here every day, every Sunday that I'm here. I try to be here as much as I can, but with love and with joy. And that's why I show up in life, living with intention and showing up in love for others. I'm definitely here. And I know this because of unity, to empower, inspire, encourage, and uplift others. And so use your unity principles. It will change your life. Find out a practice because it will change your life. And your practice and your journey does not have to look like anybody else's. And nobody here is here to tell you what your practice is. There's suggestions and there's tools, and they work.
Hello, everyone. I'm here with Miles. Miles, this is your first time leading the affirmation, so I know he's going to be awesome. So, Miles, you ready? Okay, maybe if we could have it up on the screens, please.
I bless the world as I share my gifts. I bless the world as I share my gifts and talents. Say it with me. I bless the world as I share my gifts and talents.
Thank you, Miles. Thank you. Couple of messages or reminders really before we say our blessing for our children. This coming Saturday morning, pool party at Stapley Aquatic Centre. It's intergenerational, so that means everybody is invited. Please be there, 10 a.m. till noon. All right, so children, let's say a blessing before we go for our class. Children, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are.
Breathe. Take in my breath. Breathe. Let yours come into mine. There is a holy land, a place of purity, a realm filled with abandoned children where I have always known you. Please come out and play. Everything gets turned on its head here. The disapproving word becomes the voice pointing the way. The betrayal of trust initiates the warrior. Your voice is the entrance to that realm, the invitation to take off the dried out bandages, revealing the scarred but perfect skin beneath. No one ever thinks about what the being is when it's a chrysalis. What an intense, exacting burn it endures to emerge, where the slightest touch can destroy its shivering, delicate wings before soaring. Our words, our need to name, can destroy the pulsating awe seeped in our marrow. Have you surrendered to your child's heart? There are countless others who need to hear us speak, who will perish if wonder is not restored, the hopeless who will despair if they don't hear again soon the flocks of birds hovering near the ocean's shore, telling the story of the great mystery where all is well, revealing itself to those with eyes to see and ears to hear.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Rise up the morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds pitch by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and strong. Yeah, this is my message to you. I sing it, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. I sing it, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Rise up the morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds pitch by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. You know this song. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Oh yeah, singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright. Oh, 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 don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright.
Kristen and Kyle. That's a perfect song for me right now because I'm going to do something I don't usually do, which is an object lesson. And I'm kind of like, bark, 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 bark. I'm one of those birds. This is my favorite skillet, but I promise you, I won't beat you over the head with it, and I will not cook for you. Although I can cook and make it taste good. I want to talk about agreements. The way I think about agreements are that we do what we say we'll do, and we do not do what we say we will not do. And to keep the agreements, we do what we say we'll do, and we do not do what we say we will not do. But I want to talk to you today about a book by Miguel Ruiz. It's called The Four Agreements. Many of you may know it. Some of you may go, oh, I've already read that book. I have too. It was written in 1997. I've read it several times, and each time I read it, I learn something new. And I have to ask myself over and over, I have read that book. I could quote the Four Agreements to you, but the real question for me is, am I living those agreements? Am I living them? Miguel Ruiz comes out of what's called a Toltec tradition, and he was trained by his mother, Sister Sarita. I actually had the opportunity to meet her and to meet him at one time in my life, because when I was living in San Diego and would have told you I am in no way on any kind of spiritual path, I found myself hanging around with a bunch of his students. It's like every time I turned around, somebody said, oh, I study with Miguel Ruiz. And so then, of course, when you hang around with somebody, you begin to get some of their energy. And I got curious, and I learned a whole lot. And I went to a weekend workshop with him, and I learned a whole lot. And I had the thought, well, someday, maybe I want to study with him, but someday still hasn't come, and maybe it will, and maybe it won't, who knows? But what I have done is I probably read every one of his books, and I've been incorporating them little by little into my life. And the reason I say little by little, because while the agreements are short and sweet, they sound simplistic. They take work. And what we know in unity is it works if, this is a big if, we work it. So say that with me. It works if we work it. And so I'm still working it. I just want to let you know I'm still in the process of working it. I hope to be in the process of working it for the rest of my life, so that I'm always living and growing and have something new to share with you. Would you put this slide up, please, Ben? while this is a Toltec tradition, the ideology actually comes out of the Bible. In the book of James, the author wrote, "A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it." This is the foundation for being impeccable with our words. And I really want you to get it, so I'm going to read it again. A word out of our mouth, and I'm going to own it here, a word out of my mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything, or it can destroy nearly anything. Have you ever said something to someone and you go back later and in hindsight, looking in that rearview mirror, you think, oh, why did I say that? Or been flip with somebody because that's where you were in the moment, in that consciousness, in that energy of playing and having fun. And somebody walks into the room and they're in a different consciousness and you haven't read the energy yet. And so it feels like there's sort of a disconnect and you're rolling around on 3 tires instead of 4. These things happen. They happen. The best thing to do is just acknowledge them. Hey, you know, I realized a couple of days ago when we were talking, I was flip with you. And I want to come back. Oftentimes somebody will say, I don't even remember it. But it's in my consciousness and it's in my worry part of my brain. So if I'm doing that, it's really good to be impeccable with my word and go back and handle that to see if I can clear the connection. And even if the person says, hey, Nikki, I don't even remember what you're talking about, it clears it for me. And, you know, since we are the center of our universe, it's very important that we're clearing things for us. And maybe it meant something to that person, and maybe it didn't in the moment. But my going back and saying, hey, I want to make sure everything is clear between us is a way of saying, I love you, without saying those words. It's a way of saying, I respect myself and I love myself enough to see if I can clear this. It's a part of being impeccable with our words. Am I a chicken sometimes to go do that? Yes, I am. Am I a chicken a lot of times in my life? Yes, I am. But what I have learned that when I'm willing to face something, when I'm willing to go, okay, I need to take a look at this and take a zillion breaths so I can center myself and I can acknowledge my concern. I can acknowledge my fear. I can acknowledge that I'm in the unknown and I feel out of control. You know, danger, Will Robinson, danger. I'm out of control. When I can do that, I'm standing in my impeccability. Being impeccable with our words is the first agreement. The author of Matthew, who wrote a little bit later than James, says, words can be your salvation or words can be your damnation. Words can be our salvation or words can be our damnation. And this is part of being impeccable with our words. When we are impeccable, the word impeccable actually means faultless as a primary definition. The secondary definition, I was actually quite surprised at when I looked it up, means incapable, not capable of sin. Being impeccable means not capable of sin. So when we're living in that place, that consciousness of impeccability, we cannot sin. We don't have that possibility within us because we don't have any Velcro for it. And this is where I'm going to start out. This is my little paddle thing. And this is a thought. This is a thought that I have walking around in my consciousness or rolling around in my consciousness. And if I have some Velcro for it, that thought is going to stick. So think for a moment, what do you have Velcro for? Do you have Velcro for, I'm not good enough? Do you have Velcro for, oh, sometimes I'm an idiot? I definitely have Velcro for sometimes I'm a chicken. You know, sometimes I get scared. That's part of my humanness. You know, I have Velcro for, did I do a good job? Did I do a good job? I have some Velcro for that. There is nothing wrong with having Velcro, But when we are willing to face that Velcro, this is where my pan's coming out, and it's Teflon. When we are willing to face that thought that we have picked up from somewhere, because we picked it up and made it our belief. So once we made it our belief, as soon as we made it our belief, then we have been hooked by that agreement. Those are Miguel Ruiz's words. We have been hooked by that agreement. If I have taken on the thought that there's something wrong with me, I'm definitely going to have some Velcro. If I have worked it so that I've worked to the place where I believe 100% that there is something radically right about me, and that's what Mindy and I have been teaching for the last year in a lot of different words, is there is something radically right about you, and there is something radically right about me. Say that. There is something radically right about me. When I believe that, it cannot stick. I could toss it to you. I can have some fun with that thought, because when we're impeccable with our words, we're going to have a lot more fun. I promise you that. Miguel Ruiz also says, if you're unhappy, look for where you have not been impeccable with your words. If you're sad, look for that place inside of you. This is where we have to face. This is where my inner chicken comes out. Do I really want to see that? Do I really want to know that? And look inside of myself and see, where did I get that? That's one of my favorite questions. Where did that come from? But I don't have to go very far, because there's going to be a voice in my head that states that belief. Oh, Nikki, there's something wrong with you. And then I can go, oh, whose voice is that? And I'm bringing my past forward into the present moment. We don't ever have to go look for our past, you guys. It's showing up out here all the time. But the beautiful thing is it's all learned. Louise Hay says it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. We've learned that thought. We've been hooked by some agreement. We've been hooked by somebody else's opinion. We've been hooked by cultural norms and opinions. Maybe I don't have the right iPhone. Maybe I don't even have an iPhone. Those are things culturally that hook us. Maybe I don't wear the right clothes that somebody else thinks I should wear, but I'm wearing stuff I think is comfortable. Like Erica and Mindy look really good in their high heels, but I promise you, you don't want to see me up here in high heels. Nor do I want to be up here, because I don't want to be talking to you and getting all excited, and boom, there I am. And what's going to happen is all of that part of you that your heart is big and compassionate, it's going to be, oh my gosh, is she okay? I don't want to do that, because I would be incredibly embarrassed. And then I'd have to be impeccable with my words and say to you, I am incredibly embarrassed. So what part of impeccability is learning how to be authentic in every moment. Ooh, think about that, what it means to be authentic in every moment. Yeah, it's a big step. Miguel Ruiz says, if we choose to focus on only one agreement, and we focused on impeccability with our words, it would transform our life, and that we wouldn't even need to move to agreement 2, 3, and 4, because they actually are supporting agreements for impeccability. So how do we look at impeccability? Miguel Ruiz tells a story in the beginning of the book about a man who's sleeping in a cave. And he's in a valley surrounded by mountains. Does that sound familiar? But he's in the desert, so that makes a lot of sense to me. But he's in a valley surrounded by mountains, and he's sleeping in the cave. And in the midst of his sleeping, he notices, it's like in his dream, he rises up and he notices, that's my body sleeping there. That's my body. And in his dream, he gets up and he goes outside, and he's standing under the vastness of the stars. When there's not a lot of lights around, the stars are just amazing. And he's standing in the vastness of the stars, and he looks at his hands, He looks at his feet, and he looks at his heart, and he looks at his body, and he recognizes that they're all radiant light, that he is actually light. And then he begins to think, well, if I'm light, everybody else must be light also. And he begins to imagine and think about and speak about how we are one. How we are one. Now, we use that phrase a lot. We are one. But do we live that phrase? This is that movement of impeccability from words, thought to word, to heart to action. Do that with me. From thought to word, to heart to action. When we love ourselves, and that's a big piece of impeccability, and why is that? Because there is something radically right about us. That's why that is impeccable. Because we are created in an image of and the likeness of God. That is why it's impeccable. Because there is no idiot in the realm of God. There is no not good enough in the realm of God. If I said in the realm of God, I'm an idiot, I could toss it to somebody. There it goes. It's just gonna bounce off. Let's see if I can catch it. Woo! Nope, but I got it on the bounce. So that's what happens. So we are in that process of learning as human beings. How do I let go of anything that's the lie? And the lie is anything that's not the truth of us. And what is the truth of us? If it is true of God, it is true of us. Say that with me. If it is true of God, it is true of me or us. Let's put it personal. If it is true of God, it's true of me. Wow, how does that feel? Yeah. Woo, it lights the room up. It activates the light that we are. So Miguel says, through our words, we express our creative power. There's something right about me. There's something radically right about me is powerful. We are expressing our creative power. It is through that word that we manifest everything. Now, we teach this week after week after week. There are many, many spiritual movements that teach this week after week after week in their places. Are we living it? So my challenge to you, and my challenge more than you, is me. Can I spend this week being impeccable with my word? Can I spend this week being impeccable with my word? I'll let you know next week. But my goal and my commitment is, and what will happen when I get unimpeccable, I can judge, criticize, blame myself. I can do all that. Or I can go, oh, I'm not impeccable with my words, and I can love myself. Because that's what happens, is that it's available to all of us, the love. And so then he goes on to say, regardless of what language we speak, our intent manifests through our words. So when I am out of impeccability, all I have to do is step back into impeccability. That's all I have to do. I can give up the judgment. Because if I'm in judgment of myself, I am out of impeccability. I can step back in. If I'm criticizing myself, oh, I'm such an idiot. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, and you put whatever you want to put there, and I've got Velcro for it. What I can do is I can look at that belief. If I catch myself complaining, which is out of impeccability, and I have Velcro for it because sometimes I complain. If I catch myself, I can say, oh, isn't that an interesting old habit I have? I'd like to step into a new habit. I'd like to step, and what will it take for me to move from this old habit to this new habit? Well, the first one is awareness. I have to catch myself and realize the moment I'm complaining about myself, the moment I'm complaining about anybody else, I'm out of impeccability because I'm out of love, and all I have to do is step into love. I can love myself and I can love them. I can start, if I'm complaining about another person, I can start to seek and speak what I appreciate about that person. And maybe it's the tiniest mustard seed of something. But the moment I have begun to seek and speak the appreciation, then I can come back into impeccability, because we are truly one. And whatever complaint I have about you is more about me. And we'll talk about that in a minute when we move to the second agreement, which is to take nothing personally. But when I say anything about you, I'm really only talking about my own consciousness. Even if I'm saying, man, aren't you fabulous? I'm actually talking about my own consciousness. If I say, wow, you are magnificent, I'm talking about my own consciousness, because I could not see it in you if it were not in me. But unfortunately, over here in the impeccability spot, if I say, oh, you're such a jerk, then I'm really talking about me. I'm really talking about me. It has nothing to do with that other person. And I'm out of impeccability. So then I have to walk my way back, in whatever way I do it, back into impeccability, if that's how I choose to live my life. It's a practice. And I invite you to practice it this week and decide if you want to practice it the rest of your life. And when you find yourself judging, criticizing, blaming, gossiping, any of that, notice that you're out of impeccability. Do like a Snoopy dance to notice that you're out. So you're celebrating the awareness, and then make a clear and conscious choice to step back in. Sometimes that's the hardest piece. We notice a lot that we're out. Do I want to be impeccable, or do I want to stand outside of that consciousness and be in a different consciousness? It's not good, it's not bad, it's not right, it's not wrong. It's not, one is not higher than the other. One is a clearer consciousness for the truth of ourselves. In one, when we stand in impeccability, we are standing in our truth. When we stand in when we stand outside of impeccability, that'll be easier to say for me. When I stand outside, I'm standing in the lie. I'm standing in the dream. I'm standing in the illusion that you and I are not one. So when the guy honks at me on the freeway because I'm not going as fast as he would like me to go, or maybe it's a she, I don't want to just pick on guys, sorry, then I have to be able to take a breath, say, oh, I felt scared, and I wish you blessings on your way. Oh, blessings on your way. I wish you all the good that you can have as you drive, so that I'm in impeccability. So, and I don't know about you guys, just a year in Arizona, I'm still a little like my bird. That's another one of my birds that come out with driving. I want to show you somebody's idea of what a thought form. So this is part of the creativity of being impeccable with our words. When we have this thought, I am angry, then we're outside of impeccability, because it's not the truth of us. But what I want to show you is that this is anger. This is somebody's idea of what anger looks like as a thought. A couple of clairvoyants got together and put this out. And the one on the right is worry. And so where it shows up is it begins in our toric field. You know, we have a toric field, comes up and around us and down. So it begins out here. A thought begins out here, and it begins to move in, and the more we have that thought, the closer it moves into our heart and into our mind. And so if we can catch it quickly before it becomes a habit, then we can move through that process with greater ease, so that the next time somebody does something, we don't have Velcro for that emotional feeling. That somebody can do something, and it's like, oh, look, it doesn't stick. No, it just doesn't stick. There's no way it can stick. So if there is no anger within us, if we really work that through, and I haven't met anybody who's like that, but I've met people who have very little, and you'll have to decide that your own degree of anger, who have very little, it's less likely to stick. So this is part of how we know. Think about, I'm going to switch to worry. Some people have worries and fears. Some people have worries about spiders. And so they have some Velcro for it. For me, spiders are kind of like Teflon. Some people have Teflon for snakes, and I could fill this whole thing up with my fear of snakes. So the fact that some people don't worry about snakes tells me that that's within me. And I could actually give you an incident of why it's within me, but I won't take the time today. So what happens is we can begin to notice that some people are activated by some things. There goes my worry. It's roaming around down here. Some people are activated by things and other people are not. And so when we watch and look at people in their interactions, and I think, that would have made me mad, then I'm over here outside the realm of impeccability, and it's an opportunity to do the work to stay in impeccability. It's a process. It's actually a gift. The next time somebody irritates you or makes you mad, I invite you to write a thank you card to them. You don't have to send it, but write a gratitude for them for showing you some part of yourself that has not fully been healed, that there is some level of woundedness. And let's step into looking at love for a moment. This is somebody's rendition of love, is what it looks like. So somebody's had the idea of thought forms of love that are outside and surrounding us, and this is what it looks like. Okay, Miguel Ruiz talks about take nothing personally, and this is the foundation of what he's talking about. It is not what I'm saying that is hurting you. It is that you have wounds. We could substitute Velcro today. Is you have Velcro that I touch by what I say to you. You're hurting yourself. There is no way that I can take this personally. That's what he's saying. There's no way that he can take it personally. So let me pick up my worry and let's change it a little bit and say, somebody says something to me like, you're not a very good speaker. I might have some Velcro for that. And if I do, I'm going to get my feelings hurt. I'm going to think, oh, maybe I should never get up there again on a Sunday morning. Maybe I shouldn't teach another class, da-da-da-da-da. You know how the spiral goes, you know. So if I have that Velcro, are their words actually touching me, or is it something within me that has arisen in me that shows me, oh, something to be healed, something to be worked through, something for me to look at, to explore, to unravel. Miguel Ruiz would say to stalk it, you know, like a stalker, to stalk that part of me that feels like I'm not good enough in some area or capacity of my life, until someday somebody's going to say to me, oh, I didn't like you as a teacher. And I'm going to say, well, thank you for letting me know. I'm glad to hear that. I hope that you find a teacher that you really like. No Velcro. It's fascinating. But what we as human beings do so often is say, well, you made me mad. Or she made me mad. I just can't believe she said that. I sound like my grandpa. I heard him say that a lot. But we don't have that capacity. We all have this movie of ourselves that we're actually the star of. You know, any of you want to be actors and actresses? Maybe you are actually an actor and actresses. But we all have a movie that we're the star of. And everybody else in our life is actually a secondary player. And they're just being the star of their own movie. And if we could see that, if we could actually get into their movie and see their movie with them as the star of it, we would see how we're just a secondary player in their life, just like they're a secondary player in our lives. And that we can go, oh, wow, I have a clearer understanding of that individual now, because they're just being the center of their universe. And that's good because we are the center of our universe. And other people are the center of theirs. And what I think is really cool is how often we actually come together and we create a lot of joy and a lot of excitement and a lot of fun as we're all just walking around being the centers of our universe. Because that's riding the wave of the consciousness we're on, the resonance that we're on. So I have an affirmation if you're interested. I recognize and embrace the power of my agreements. This is for the first agreement. I recognize and embrace the power of my agreements. I choose to be impeccable with my word. I practice noticing my thoughts and words and make a shift when necessary. I thought I'd put an action step into this affirmation because it can be challenging. But if we choose to make that challenge fun, we can have the best time ever with that challenge. If you're interested in that, say it with me. I recognize and embrace the power of my agreements. I choose to be impeccable with my word. I practice noticing my thoughts and words and make a shift when necessary. And when you notice you've been outside of your thoughts and words, just make another choice. I have one more, and you guys can help me say it. Come on up. I notice when taking something personally, and I activate another action, you guys. I activate my ability to choose not to get hooked. We have an ability to not get hooked, and we have an ability to get hooked, and it's a choice. I don't always like to own that. I like to tell everybody that. But sometimes it's hard to own. And my practice this week will also be owning that. Instead, I engage in love. This is, love is the universal healer. I engage in love. I love myself and I extend love to the other person. If you're up for this, let's say it together. Whoop, there it went. Let's start all over. 1, 2, 3. I notice when taking something personally, I activate my ability to choose not to get hooked on another's opinion. Instead, I engage in love. I love myself and I extend love to the other person. When we extend love to another person, we are standing in our impeccability. We are standing there. So don't criticize yourself unless you really want to and you want that burst of adrenaline when you step outside of either of these agreements. But celebrate yourself for recognizing, way to go. I'm noticing I stepped outside. Celebrate that and then choose the choice that you make and let whatever choice be perfect for you in that moment. Let's sing our way into meditation.
Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. My heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. My heart is here to serve. Whatever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go.
Where is love leading you today? And are you willing to go? Are you willing to engage in a practice of loving yourself as much as you can in any moment? That is a part of the going. That is part of the serving. Because the moment that we're loving ourselves, truly loving ourselves, finding that truth of ourselves as love, then we are impeccable. And when we're standing in that consciousness of love, then we are like Teflon. When you think back on your life and you notice places that you may or may not have been out of the consciousness of impeccability, bring love to that memory. Love yourself for remembering. That's a point of healing for me. And I won't even take that memory personally. And think about a time in your life where you felt alive with love. And bring that memory forward. Alive with love. Like love was radiating out of every cell of your body. And take that memory and envision it as an object. Maybe it's a heart, because we're talking about love, or maybe it's something unique and personal to you. But let it become an object. An object so that you can tuck it into your heart, to pull it out at any time when you're not feeling happy. And as you explore, where am I not impeccable with my words, hold the heart or the image that you've created, hold it in your hand as you explore. Hold it in your hand as you explore. So you're exploring from a consciousness of love, from a memory of love, from the frequency and the clarity of love. Because remember, if it's true of God and God is love, then it's true of us. And love is our nature, our divine right, our very essence and being. So as we look into our world, look into our life, look into our own beingness, let's do it from a place of love, where we can love ourselves and extend love to another person, extend love to an event, extend love to a memory. So our way of being becomes simply radiating love. Say quietly with me, I radiate love. I radiate love. And if you can, take these words in. You radiate love. You radiate love because there is something radically right about you. You radiate love because you and I and all of us are created in the image and the likeness of God. we also radiate like light. We can distance ourselves from ourselves enough to see more clearly we are light. We're beams of light that are moving through the world, and that light shines in the darkness to bring more light. We are light and we are love. You are light and you are love. You are light and you are love. And so it is. And Donna's going to bring the lights up, and Erica's going to come and speak to us. But before she does, say with me, I am light and I am love. I am light and I am love. Say it again like you mean it. I am light and I am love. Yes, because that's the truth of you.
Thank you. Well, it is time right now for our giving. And first I have to say, this church, we have had some challenges over the last couple of months. And as a congregation, we have to come together in just living these principles in abundance and in prosperity and in love. And we have been able to move through things with ease and grace. And I say that because I'm not here every day dealing with it, but there is so much love and abundance in this place. And so now there are many ways to give. You can donate online through the website, which I just did. You can do it through the Vanco app. You can also text, and there is the number that you can text to, the 844-528-0827. You can put it in snail mail. There's always someone happy to receive your check. And then also you can donate in person or give in person. And so right now we're going to do our blessing. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And we are so grateful for each and every gift, and we are grateful for the givers. And if you do not have a monetary gift, please put love in the basket.
You can be amazing, you can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You can be the outcast, be the backlash of somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up. Nothing's gonna hurt you the way that words do when they settle neath your skin. Kept on the inside and no sunlight, sometimes a shadow wins. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. Just want to see you. I just want to see you. Just want to see you. I want to see you be brave. Just want to see you. I just want to see you. Just want to see you. I want to see you be brave. Everybody's been there, been stared down, all by the enemy. Falling for the fear and done some disappearing, bow down to the mighty. But don't run, stop holding your tongue. Maybe there's a way out of the cage where you live. Maybe one of these days you can let the light in. Show show me how big your brave is. Say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. Innocence, your history of silence won't do you any good. Did you think it would? Let your words be anything but empty. Why don't you tell them the truth and say what you want to say and let the words fall out? Honestly, I don't want you to be a chicken. And what you want to say and let your words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. Just want to see you. I just want to see you. Just want to see you. I want to see you be brave. Just want to see you. I just want to see you. Just want to see you. I want to see you be brave.
Sometimes people say, I just want to bottle that up. All right, we're going to bless the reception of your generosity, celebrating the incredible givers that you are, by saying together, we are
One with the opulence of God. We are now in the flow of infinite abundance, and we give thanks for the prosperity that is ours by divine right. Yay! We have copies of the 4 agreements in the bookstore if you want a deeper dive than we went today. Have fun with it.
We also have chaplains that are available to pray with you. Come find them. They just might come find you. I don't know. By divine order, we've got Sharon and we've got Delane and we have Audrey available to pray with you. We have hospitality in the garden. Enjoy the fresh air because, you know, the real summer's coming. Just saying.
Have as much fun as you can this week playing, and I really invite you to take it into play. Not be all serious with it, but if you want to do that, you can too. But play with being impeccable. Play with not taking anything personally. You might say, oh, it got me, I have to pull it out, so I don't take it personally. Just have a good time with it.
And be brave. Be brave. It's cute. Right.